I think that tariff shock is starting to wear off the crypto market just a little bit. Right now we're still dealing with obviously the US and China going back and forth. China raised tariffs to over 100% versus the US, but it hasn't really been hitting the market the same way it once was. And in fact, what we've seen Shiba Inu do is reach a level it has not seen since all the way back in December of 2024. And frankly, there's a lot of things that we need to talk about in this video. First of all, Shiba Inu right now in a very nice spot price-wise, sitting around that 4012 range. Yesterday, we did actually set a little bit of a higher high compared to the prior day. So SHIB right now is trying to attack this trend, this 20-day moving average, this trend that we've really struggled to break since all the way back in December of 2024. But now it seems like the market may have just planted its foot in the ground. We might be on the verge of a big overall reversal. I'll talk about that a little more later on, but you can't ignore how strong SHIB has actually been since February. And yes, I know price has been dropping. I know it sucked, but understand the context of this. When we compare SHIB to the BTC, when we compare it to the overall crypto market, it's been actually holding up quite a bit of resilience. In fact, since this time back at the start of February, SHIB's down maybe 9% versus BTC. I mean, that's frankly not bad. Something that's such a retail driven asset, that is such a sentiment driven asset, to only be down that little versus Bitcoin in that time is a very good sign. And it really, again, is a testament to all these things that we've talked about time and time again. The fundamentals, right? Continue to hit new all-time highs in terms of holders. We've done that again today. We continue to see whale accumulation. Happened again yesterday, happened the last several days. This is a very consistent theme. And this is why you're seeing SHIB I actually reached the highest level it's seen versus Ethereum since all the way back in December of 2024. So these are great signs. And what SHIB is doing is it's starting to decorrelate from Ethereum. All right. It's actually been decorrelating since kind of back here at the start of February. Go figure. That's not surprising because SHIB fundamentals are strong. This is what I keep saying. Fundamentals are strong. Fundamentals are strong. And I keep catching a bunch of crap for saying that. But guys, it's a very distinct trend. Okay. SHIB is doing something very different than most ERC20s right now. And that should give you a lot of confidence about what is coming next. Now, what I did think was very interesting for SHIB is that we've talked a lot about short interest as of late. And this is about that range where you tend to see short step in and try to suppress Shiba Inu price. They try to push the price down. That's not really happening this time. Okay. When we look at this long short ratio, if you guys remember, usually when we get up to around this 4012 range, this ratio will very heavily shift to the short side by about 10%. Right now, it's pretty even keel. And so what we're starting to see is I think the shorts in the market are getting a lot less confident. They're losing some of that confidence because, again, the tariff noise is quieting down. We had a huge CPI report yesterday that was very good for the crypto market. We didn't pump off of it. And I talked about that potentially why in other videos, but things are starting to shift from an overall standpoint. And now it's just a question of, when does this capital that's sitting on the sidelines begin to re-enter the market? And I think right here, this is looking very toppy. All right. This is USDT dominance. This is capital that's been sitting on the sidelines. You guys can see that, basically since started December, there's been a very distinct trend of USDT dominance rising. It's because people have been taking profit. They've been fearful. They've been starting to dump their assets and move to the stables in anticipation of drops. And this has just been a very distinct trend. And now what we're starting to see is actually the throwback back to the trend. And we might be on the verge of a big overall reversal. Now, obviously, there's no guarantees or anything like that. And something I've pointed out in several other videos is this chart, guys. Okay. This is the Wyckoff accumulation model. For those that aren't familiar, this is a big bullish reversal chart. And what we're seeing is the total market cap of crypto playing into this perfectly. Right now, we might be in the midst of this test phase. All right. We hit our spring just a few days back, bounce. Here's our test. If we can confirm these levels and we start to actually reverse and actually break this 20-day moving average, that's a very important sign for the market. That is a big warning flag that the bears need to be on notice, that everybody needs to be prepared, because this chart alone shows us that if this follows structure perfectly, and I'm not saying that it will, but if it does, we might be attacking that $3.18 trillion overall total market cap range sometime in the latter part of April. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And then typically there's a big boom that follows this. And then again, because of there's so much money in the market right now that is in stables, there is enough capital here to move us to all-time highs across the space. We're talking about over $4 trillion in terms of the total market cap of crypto. We're talking about, if excitement is there, potentially all-time high moves in terms of SHIB. Now, again, I'm not ready to say that quite yet. There still needs to be a lot of things that move our direction. We still need good macro data. A big thing that we need to watch for later this month is that Q1 GDP report. Those things are all going to impact the market in a very big way. We need consumer confidence to be high. Now, yesterday, we did see a drop. We're still kind of in this fearful range. We did see a spike to about 25, drop back down to about 21, but it really looks like this is beginning to bottom here as well. So we're seeing a lot of great signs across the space, and we just need, again, this momentum to carry us. We need Shiba Inu price to stay resilient in these levels. We need holders to stay resilient too. Okay. So it's all working out just fine right now. Basically, I'm just waiting, being patient, and just waiting for the good times to come. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think comes next? Do we have some more potential downside, or is this where the market is starting to make a pivot? Have a great day. Share your love below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.